Hey everyone, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, or as some people would like to call it, Part 5 of the series, whichever way is fine. Before I get into this review, I want you all to be sure to subscribe and like and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. Without further ado, let's review this series. Here's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. You know, it's kind of difficult to review something without spoiling anything because I feel like you don't get a full-on decent review without revealing anything, so I might spoil a few things in the series, just saying, fair warning. This is an anime, and I feel like to review something like an anime like this should be spoiled, of course. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal every single detail about this series, but I will bring up certain points and even talk about my favorite scenes in this series. Looking at you, 7-page Muda. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind takes place in Italy in the year 2001, 2 years later after the events of Diamond is Unbreakable, and it follows a young teenager by the name of Giorno Giovanna, who is the son of both Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando from Phantom Blood, who joins the criminal organization Passion in the hopes of becoming a gangster, or in this case, a gangstar as he calls it, and taking control of the organization in the name of reform. Yes, you heard me correctly, Giorno has two dads, and not in the way that you think, and you all might be wondering how is this possible? Well, to make it quite simple, sometime in the past, Dio, who was still in control of Jonathan's body, impregnated a woman and gave birth to Giorno, who possesses the mind of Dio, with the altruistic characteristics and nature of the Joestar family. So technically, Giorno Giovanna is a Joestar. Now that you know about the premise of the series, let's talk about what I thought about the series and why I loved it so much. First off, Giorno Giovanna is probably the greatest, most powerful JoJo of all time. He comes close to Jotaro Kujo in my favorite JoJos of all time because he's still my favorite. But Giorno, again, like I mentioned before, who possesses altruistic characteristics, is amazing. He's very three-dimensional, very intelligent, very kind, and usually ends up having the upper hand in a fight, kind of similarly to Jotaro Kujo and even Jonathan Joestar, well, mostly Jonathan Joestar at the very end, but very similar to Jotaro Kujo in that regard. And as Stan Golden experienced Golden Wind in English, yes, the rock music theme is still happening. Golden Wind is so cool and becomes OP by the end of this series. What I really loved about this series is this kid who grew up having a dream becoming the world's greatest gangster and making Italy a better place to live in. That meant keeping drugs off the streets and children, gaining control of the Italian mafia, and just ruling the place. Very noble coming from someone who basically wants to become ruler of the mafia and his country. One of the first things I look at when it comes to adding an anime to my watch list is obviously the artwork. And let me tell you, looking at this at first glance didn't exactly scream epic or cool. This is where the don't judge a book by its cover lesson comes into play. I understand Araki had a particular style with his previous iterations of the JoJo series where they all appeared big and muscular, but here with Golden Wind, it seems like he probably got tired of that design and wanted to go with a sleeker, newer look. The characters, both male and female, appeared more feminine. There were some sexual and beauty themes with the designs of the characters, which to me was something I hadn't seen with all anime characters in any anime series before. They all dressed funny looking in my opinion, but it became clear that Araki was honoring the fashion choice from Italy of the 1970s until 2001, which brings me to my next point as to why I love this series so much. Attention to detail, and references from the previous JoJo Bizarre Adventure series. What? Did I just make a JoJo reference? Yes, there are plenty of references and attention to detail from the real world of that era, which I respect a lot. Clearly, Araki did his homework by traveling to these exotic locations of the world, which makes me appreciate the series that much more. And to that JoJo reference I was referring to, there's one memorable one in an opening theme, Uragiri Mono no Requiem, where we see Giorno Giovanna's back turned to the audience, with his hair letting loose while raising his hand with blood dripping down in a very familiar pose. I literally freaked the hell out like a fanboy when I saw that, and you JoJo fans would understand what I mean when I talk about that reference. And I need to mention this in this review. Hands down, the greatest scene of all time is the 7-page Muda. It's called the 7-page Muda because in the manga, Giorno is beating the shit out of Cioccolata for 7 pages. By the way, you get this sense of satisfaction once you witness this scene transpire. It is so awesome. After a while, the design of the characters really grew on me, by the way. The characters were really cool and likable. Bucciarati and Mista were two of my favorite characters out of the bunch, of course. And like the previous JoJo series, a select few of them die. You can never get attached to these characters in the JoJo series. And just to do you a favor, I'm not going to mention who dies, just to, you know, save that moment for you guys. And the whole thing about Jono being the son of Jonathan, Joestar, and Dio, that's revealed right at the first episode, so it's not exactly a big surprise. And besides, looking at Jono Giovanna, it's clearly obvious that he bears resemblance to Dio Brando, so yeah. The villain of the series, Diavolo, was a pretty likable villain. Honestly, I didn't think he was the greatest villain, but he posed as a real threat to the group and gave them the challenge even to Giorno Giovanna. That is until he bested Diavolo at the very end with his Golden Requiem, which was epic and amazing. You need to watch it just to be in awe. Guys, in the end, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind remains as one of my favorite anime of all time, which is why I'm going to give JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind an A+. So, that was my review for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. What did you think of it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more videos coming your way. I'm also going to be having more anime reviews coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And with all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next video.
Whoa, whoa.